This is the Stone Brewing Vertical Epic 060606, released June 6, 2006. This one has toasty malts and notes of anise and cedar. We're 6 beers into it. Let's see how we're doing.
Drink it or dump it.
Okay, so this is how the whole thing went down. I originally started with the 08 through the 12. Then I found the depth charge double bastard, and of course I had a Rumbrignugan because I had held on to at least one of my collabs. When I got out to San Diego, Steve had the 03 through the 06. Then Chris had the 07. It started to pile up. Then Greg brought out the 02-02-2020 palindrome. And then, of course, Jeremy had an 08 bitter chocolate oatmeal stout. And then Chris one-upped that with the Enjoy After 12-26-15. And then, of course, because there wasn't enough, Chris added the 2008 Juxtaposition collab. So we started with the Vertical Epic in full, and it all went downhill from there. Well, if you mention 06, we're going to open the 06.
All right,
06,
perfect.
06. Okay, so this is now right around your 10-year anniversary. Right?
Yes, actually. It would have been right around because June, and our anniversary is technically at the end of July. July 26th, 1996 was when we released the first beer. So, but we would celebrate typically in August or September. I think it was August in this era. We moved it a little bit later because the brutal heat could be kind of tough sometimes.
So this one's 8.6 Mount Hood hops. Rich aroma of toasty malts, anise, and Belgian yeast spiciness with hints of cedar.
The nose not terribly impressive.
Is this the last one?
But again, with all of them, you're not getting a lot of oxidation.
Sure.
There's no real nose of cardboard.
It's right around the time Mitch came in, I think.
Get the roasty malt out of that a little bit more. Little chocolate notes in the background. I'm the one talking to these guys. All three of these guys have a better palate than I do.
Smells like a spiced brownie right off the bat.
Yeah, there isn't like
Pretty sweet.
nice chocolate on the finish.
Really sweet.
How in tune in these first 5 and 10 years were you with what was going on in the Midwest or even on the East Coast? Like, what I hear a lot in the Midwest is the inspiration that Larry Bell and Bell's Brewery was having.
Absolutely.
Were you? What was the relationship like? What was your eye on what they were doing at all? How did that? How was that happening in the first decade of being in business?
Absolutely. I mean, because we were going to craft brewers conferences and things like that even before we opened up Stone, and we were introduced to a lot of these breweries and beers and these personalities like Larry Bell, and they blew us away with some of their beers, and they were totally inspirational to us.
You know, I remember, do you remember what year? Can you guess? The Craft Brewers Conference was held in Boston in like 2001. Did you have a recollection? Well, the bottom line is there was a grand banquet always as part of the Craft Brewers Conference, and you'd have this bucket full of all these different beers, and you know, each one of the courses it would suggest you open this one. Well, at the end of the conference or end of the banquet, there was bottles of Bell's Kalamazoo Stout. No, it wasn't Expedition Stout. That's correct. And unopened, all over. I mean, most of the other bottles were pretty well consumed, and I just was flabbergasted. And so I literally got a box, and I went around from table to table to table, and I just made myself a box of Expedition Stout, and I took it home to California. And I was in hog heaven, and I just could not believe, you know, here we are. You couldn't have had a higher concentration of beer geeks than in that room, and yet they still weren't gravitating towards these really big, intense beers like that. And I was surprised. I was actually a little disappointed, but happy for myself.
Well, I know that at least in the early days, I found a lot more Belgian, to be more experimental with the Belgian and German beers because you almost expected, but American micro beers were not yet there. So when you saw something like, I had a double cream stout from Bell's in '95, which lit me up, and I was like, absolutely crazy. Which begs the question, and we'll start with you, Chris. Was there one single beer that you had that turned you into the rabbit hole of beers that weren't just the Coors or the Miller Genuine Draft Rolling Rock, whatever it was that you saw a lot of? Was there one beer that made you go, this is different?
Can you bleep out those names?
Yes, I certainly will.
For me, I mean, this is easy. Arrogant Bastard. That's the whole reason I started working at Stone in the first place. Like, I just remember having that beer, drinking a lot of other ones, and going like, I don't think I'll ever like beer. This is terrible. This is disgusting, just everything. And then my friends gave me an Arrogant Bastard as a joke one time, and I just remember drinking and going, holy shit, this is delicious. And then I ended up taking the bottle and disappearing with it, and everyone was like, well, how can you actually enjoy this? We all hate it. And I was like, it's delicious. You guys are dumb. And then I started working at Stone, and now I love it.
Wow, crazy.
You ever get a chance to tell your old friends, jokes on you?
Yeah. My buddy's still reminisce about it, like me bringing home some Bombers Arrogant Bastard, and like they're like, we still can't believe you're at Stone and making this beer. We could never drink this. And now I'm like, you have to drink it. Like,
That's awesome.
Jeremy, what about you?
Actually, a local brewery, when I was in college, Carl Strauss had an oatmeal stout, and it just blew my mind. I thought, wow. I mean, and I'd had some better beers than High Life or Genuine Draft, but that I was like, oh, this beer can be like this rich, almost like a dessert full meal, but really drinkable as well. So that one really kicked it off for me.
Steve, you have one?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably similar to Greg, but, I went to college up in Santa Cruz in the late 70s, and Anchor Steam was available up there, and that changed my idea of what beer could be, for sure.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford that much of it as a college student, but occasionally. And then Sierra Nevada not too long after that. I mean, those were probably the two big game changers for me.
Yeah, and I came into way after Steve because my first Anchor experience wasn't until '87. I used to go to a punk rock hole in the wall bar in downtown Los Angeles in the Warehouse District before it's the cool thing that it is now. They call it the Arts District now, and it was much rougher around the edges. It's called Al's Bar, and they had Anchor Steam on tap. And I, being in college and not having much money, I recognized the simple fact that if I got the 22-ounce or 24-ounce wax paper cup of beer, that's what they were serving it in.
That's how you know it was a punk club.
Yeah. That it was the only beer versus the other ones that, as it warmed up, as you drank it down, that just didn't taste like ass as you got to the very bottom. I'm like, this still tastes good all the way through.
Yeah.
And I had that epiphany also that I didn't know that beer could taste like that. And then when I discovered, I was just like, it was impactful on me. And also in that punk rock kind of mentality, I was actually angry. It made me mad because it made me realize at that moment all of my previous beer drinking years that had been stolen from me by the lies of the man telling me that other stuff was beer.
Was beer.
Yeah, I was serious. So it was like half just like thrilling excitement and half just like, what the fuck? Why didn't I know about
Yeah,
this?
you feel like you've been robbed.
Yeah, 100%.
I got to back up to the 0505. Is it drink it or is it a dump it?
I think it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good still.
yeah, I keep going back for sips. So.
Yeah, I know.
Finished mine.
I'm going to give him mine then because I'm
There you go, you gotta
I'm
keep
less
going.
enamored by this one.
And then now this is the 0606. I like the
Okay.
5.
Oh, wait, the 5. Sorry, the 5
previous.
Was, yeah, sorry. I was on board with the 5.
Yes.
Did I miss the 06? I don't have the 06 yet.
Yeah, so far I find the
No, that was the 5, I think.
the 0505
was the five.
I got to do this every time. You can
yeah,
tell
yeah.
we're going to get really confused.
I know.
It's my favorite so far, actually.
The 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one we just, oh, really? I thought the 05 was a lot better.
I like the 05 better. I do like the 06. I think it's not as full-bodied as the 5, and maybe that in the carbonation as well was a little better in the 5. But I'm going to keep going.
Okay.
You have no
go.
choice.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Committed now.
Yep.
I think we're almost halfway through.